afternoon, everyone. How y'all doing today? The title of my speech today is Hate, the Root of All Evil. On October 7, 1998, a horrific hate crime was committed against a 21-year-old homosexual college student named Matthew Shepard. Two men abducted Matt and drove him out into a remote area outside of Laramie, Wyoming. There they tied him to a fence post and brutally beat him until they didn't just use their hands, they used the butt of a pistol as well. 18 hours later, he was found by a biker who mistook him for a scarecrow. He was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately, it was too late for anything to be done. Matt died 6 days later with his friends and his family by his side. I found Matthew's story because of the Matthew Shepard Foundation. It was a foundation that was begun by his parents right after his death. The foundation promotes diversity, as well as fighting to replace hate with understanding, compassion, and acceptance. And the purpose of my speech today is to give you a little bit of information about hate crime, give you some examples of why it happens, and tell you some stories about how it's impacted people's lives in the world today. So I want to talk to you about three main reasons why hate crime happens. The three main reasons are because of race, sexual orientation, and religion. So the most recent FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, brought out recent statistics, the most recent statistics report of 2012. These are some of the things that they found about hate crime. Okay, 48% of 5,790 single bias incidents were racially motivated, while 19% resulted from sexual orientation bias and 19% from religion bias. So the three reasons, because it happens, I mean, the one that's basically overall more than all the other ones is because of racially motivated hate crimes, which is a really sad fact. Another statistic states that of the 7,164 hate crime victims in 2012, 55% were victims of crimes against persons, 41% were victims of crimes against property, and the remaining 2.8% were victims of crimes against society. And one of the examples they gave was like prostitution, something like that. So what kind of an impact does hate crime have on people? Hate crimes, they tend to be more violent in nature because they're meant to send a message to someone, which is really sad. And survivors are likely to need psychological and medical help because of the mental and physical pain that they suffer. So in a survey done by an academic journal entitled "Isn't Every Crime a Hate Crime?", hate crime victims reported higher rates of depression, nervousness, lack of concentration, an unintentional thinking of the crime, and thoughts about the futility of their lives. And it's not just the victim that is hurt by these hate crimes, it's their community as well. So if someone is a different race or a different sexual orientation or a different religion, the people that are also a different race, also a different sexual orientation, also a different religion, they're going to fear more because these hate crimes are happening to the people that are like that. So the New York Times had several articles concerning victims of hate crime and also just general information about the subject. I wanted to tell you about two such instances. The first article was about a man named Randy Jenner. He received a vicious punch to the face on his way home that knocked him out, which caused him to fall on the ground, and he cracked his skull. And the crime was committed because of his sexual orientation, which causes it to be a hate crime. And he's going to need months of rehabilitation, but he's happy to be alive today. And another instance is a man named James Anderson, a 47-year-old black male who was killed by three young teenagers outside of a hotel in Jackson, Mississippi. Unfortunately, the way they killed him was that he was driven over by a truck. This was a racially motivated hate crime, and as you can see, it was really sad. And these hate crimes are impacting society today in more ways than you can describe. I don't know if anyone personally knows a victim of a hate crime, but it's a big issue, and it's just really sad. And so by informing people about hate crime, it makes them aware and it makes them want to put an end to it. In my opinion, it should never happen, and I don't think, it's unethical, it's immoral, it's really sad. Hate crime needs to end in society today. I mean, just because somebody's a different race or religion or sexual orientation, doesn't mean that they should be treated like animals. So, if people are informed of this issue, if they're made aware of the problem that society faces today, they will take greater measures to turn hate into understanding, compassion,